name is Stan Njoko. I am the founder of the Diaspora magazine and the founder of Cyber's Consultant and Business Analysis. Every year, thousands of Africans migrate into the United States for an economic opportunity and safety. The purpose of this research is to unveil the highest population of African immigrants and their decisions or rationale that led to their migration to certain demographic location here in the United States. According to the U.S. Census 2010, there are about 1.6 million Africans here in the United States. Of course, African immigrants are integrated components of this great nation and have contributed greatly to the overall U.S. economy. Without a doubt, the USA is a global power and have shown its footprint in the global landscape, both military dominant and vast economic power. Our research is based on in-depth data analysis and with the application of machine learning algorithm using extracted data from the US Census and other reputable government sources to determine the motivating factors that actually motivated Africans to migrate to certain demographic locations here in the United States. For strategic insight, we look at few elements or factors that may have influenced Africans to concentrate in certain demographic location. We collected data of the metro population to determine how Africans spread across the United States. We collected a percentage of Africa, like the highest percentage of Africa, in each demographic location to determine which African country has the highest population in each metro area. We look at industry with the highest employment, look at the highest paying industry. We look at the median income household. We also look at the median house price, and we look at race to determine if Africans decide to migrate to certain location. Probably is it based on the number of blacks, white, or Hispanic? So these are the things we will look into, come up to a conclusion on what motivates Africans to move into certain demographic locations here in the United States. We selected few African countries with 18% or more population. Our record shows that Cape Verde, Nigeria, Somalia, Egypt, and Liberia have the highest population or highest concentration in one demographic location they occupied. The US is broken into regions: the West, the Midwest, the Northwest, and the South. Our record also shows that Africans are highly concentrated between the Midwest, South, and slightly Northwest of the United States. There are less African concentration in the West, and it's easier to draw a conclusion that maybe, for example, California, because the cost of living in California is extremely high compared to other parts of the nation. So considering this factor, now we are looking at the elements that actually contributed to Africans' migration in each metro area they are highly concentrated at. For example, looking at the metro areas, Cape Verde has the highest population with the ratio of 2:1 in Providence, New Bedford, and Fall River metro area in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means in every 2 Africans, there is 1 Cape Verdean. Cape Verde also has the highest population with the ratio of 3:1 in Boston, Cambridge, and Quincy metro area in Massachusetts and Michigan. Egypt with the ratio of 4:1 in Los Angeles, Long Beach, Santa Ana metro area in California. Egypt also with a ratio of 5:1 in New York, Northern New Jersey, and Long Island metro area in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ethiopia with a ratio of 4:1 in Tacoma and Bellevue metro area in Washington. Ethiopia also has 5:1 in Washington, Arlington, and Alexandria in District of Columbia, Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. In addition, Ethiopia also has a ratio of 5:1 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Bloomington metro area in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Liberia has a ratio of 5:1 in Philadelphia, Camden, and Wilmington metro area in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. So Nigeria with a ratio of 3:1 in Houston, Sugarland, Baytown in Texas. Nigeria also occupied 3:1 ratio in Baltimore, Tucson metro area in Maryland. Nigeria is in Chicago, Joliet, and Napperville metro area in Indiana and Wisconsin. So that's 4:1 ratio. Nigeria also have 4:1 ratio in Atlanta, Sandy Springs, and Merita in Georgia. Also, Nigeria have a ratio of 5:1 in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Arlington in Texas. Combine the metro area that they are into a state, Nigeria have the highest population. So Somalia with a ratio of 4:1 in Columbus, Ohio. Somalia also with 4:1 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Burlington metro area in Minnesota, Wisconsin. Somalia also have the highest concentration in Seattle, Tacoma, and Bedford metro area in Washington. To summarize African demographic locations here in America, we cannot go through into the whole list. However, we'll provide you the list on this side so you can take a look at where Africans are highly concentrated. However, we'll give you a quick summary. Nigeria dominated about 5 metro areas with the highest population of Nigerians. Cape Verde occupy about 2 metro areas here in the United States with the highest population of people from Cape Verde. Egypt also occupied 2 metro areas. Ethiopia and Somalia occupy 3 metro areas respectively here in the United States. That's a high-level summary. 5 African countries that hit the 18% or more population in each metro area. Again, Africans are everywhere. However, we are focusing on African countries with the 18% or more of their population in one demographic or in one metro area. So again, this report is just to focus on the Africans with the highest population in certain location and find out the reason and the rationale that led them to decide to migrate to this demographic area. Again, we look at other elements as well. We look at industry with the highest employment. However, the top African countries, our record shows that they migrated in areas that healthcare services and social assistance are the predominantly sector. Of course, it's quite easier to say that Africans are mainly into the healthcare sector. I have seen a family, both the husband and wife and daughter, we are all in the medical or healthcare sector. So it's quite easier to see Africans moving into the healthcare sector as a profession than any other profession here in the United States. Without a doubt, the healthcare sector has the highest immigrant, about 20% immigrant workers within that sector. So there is no doubt to say that Africans also look into these areas. The level of employment is extremely high and the chance of getting good employment is quite obvious. But again, the highest employment is not the main driving factor that have led Africans to move into location they settled. And also we look at the race to see if where there's predominantly white, black or Hispanic, if that is a motivating factor that actually led to Africans to move into that area. However, our record shows that race doesn't play any significant role. Finally, we look at the median house price and we saw a correlation between the median house price and African migration. So with this and with the help of our machine learning algorithms, it's quite obvious that you see Africans tend to migrate where the house price is lesser than any other part of the country. And let me give you an example. If you're from the Bay Area, California, it's quite obvious. There are high concentration of Nigerians in the Antioch, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, Stockton area. Then we have Nigerians here in the Bay Area like Oakland, Fremont, San Francisco, Union City, and so many, because these areas are more expensive than places I just mentioned like Stockton, Antioch, Pittsburgh, where we have the highest concentration of Nigeria. And with this now, we are drawing to a conclusion that African migration are correlated to the median house price. We look forward to presenting you more research, in-depth analysis. And by the way, why should this matter to you? If you're a business person, African business, or a business person that focus on African demographic location or African population, with our research right now, you know how to strategically position your business so you can maximize the African population and be able to reach the maximum African immigrants here in the United States. Thank you very much and look forward to more research and analysis